I just bought something for $3. Very, very pretty. Say hi to the YouTube audience.
Greetings.
Gosh. So make sure you visit. And I'll put everything in the description box, the name of the tour, so you can go on the tour and experience the things I'm experiencing. And let me just take a capture of the ocean. They're right by the ocean right now. So this is what you're gonna see. It's peaceful. The people are very friendly. They're making an honest living.
Every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes,
Okay, this is one of the vendors, and he paints everything. So this is all original artwork, different things. I just bought my daughter like a little shell so she can display it. So all this beautiful artwork is hand done.
This is the ball.
I just love taking pictures of the ocean.
Why?
¿No cambió el teléfono? Sí, sí. Es un teléfono, pero ella le está tomando fotografías.
For like, place where you can buy drugs, not that kind of drug, but penicillin and aspirin, painkillers, sleeping. Okay, if you can see those guys off to a distance, I think they're fishing. I'm not sure. Let's see. We'll zoom it. And this is still Ensenada. Baja California. Some of the houses are nestled into the mountains and the hills. I know a lot of people can see Ensenada and do this part, but there's a lot of people all over the world that have never been here. So basically, that's what I'm planning this for people who may not never make it to see Ensenada. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful.
Over there by the rock. Over there. By the rock.
We are on the bus right now, and we are going shopping for a couple of hours. This is the route on the way. I'm scared of heights, but
Yeah, she likes to take them.
That water is so beautiful.
it's so blue and beautiful.
What part of Texas are you? Houston. That's where I grew up.
Oh, okay.
That's where I grew up. I lived there 26 years of my life.
The sun is
That's in 99. So
totally changed.
I'm sure. I lived in the Cypher area. So
Oh, yeah, you
I lived in Cypher Hospital.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I've been there for some years.
I'm sure it's not.
It's just over.
I've only been back once
Yeah.
to see my grandbaby.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to my channel today. I'm doing a revamp of living the single life. The reason why I'm doing a redo is after I did my videos for Secrets and Lies Part 1 and 2, I felt so good and so happy about doing it and finally getting my truth out. And so when I videoed living the single life, and when I put it on, it's like I had I don't want to put out arrogance or cockiness, and I got that feel. I'm more confident now, and I'm glad I did that. So I wanted to redo it and tell you a little, why I love being single. I've been married before, um, and divorced, and whatever all goes with that. And then comparing what the married life and what I'm experiencing now being single, I like being single better. I like it a whole lot more. Um, I want to be selfish with me now, not having to consider a spouse's um, or a boyfriend's feelings. And I know when you're married or you're with your significant other, you have to compromise. And if you don't want to compromise, then you shouldn't be married or with someone. And my very reason for being single, I don't want to compromise. I'm gonna be frankly real honest with you. I don't want to share my money that comes in. I don't want to share my house that I worked hard for. You will not reap the benefits of my um, hard work, the fruits of my labor. And again, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I am selfish right now. And in the life that I've had before, let me tell you, I had some very good times, but I also had some experienced some bad things in my life, which I think we all have. So right now, I'm just basking in my selfishness. So allow me that. I I went out just recently, and I put it. I made a video dining at Kelsey's, and it was nice to go out. I go out by myself. I don't need anyone to go with me. I have sometimes friends that'll go with me, or I do meet guys that wherever I go for dinner or for karaoke or out dancing. I'll meet someone there, but I don't consider it a date. If they buy me a drink, by the end of the night, I'll buy them one. Because some guys feel like if they spend their money on you, you owe them something. Not all guys aren't like that, but some guys aren't. And I don't want to go through the motion experience that they're that type of guy and then have to, set them straight or something. Because I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but I will speak my mind. Um, if they were to pull that, I spent that on you, I can tell them, well, I took you out to dinner and I bought you a drink, and I'm not sweating you about all that. So I'm not going to let you pressure me into whatever you have on your agenda. Because most times, I shouldn't say that. A lot of times, guys and women have an agenda. Some women just want you to take them out, spend the money, and whatever happens at the end of the night, happens. But I'm not like that. Um, I'm not like, I don't want to, just you to take me out and you spend all your money, because all it's going to be by the end of the night is adios, had a good time, see you later. And so I'm going to make this short, but I just wanted to do a redo. I didn't I don't want to tell the story that I told about an ex-fiance that I had, which was the love of my life, and he died about 5 years after we got engaged. So I won't go through all that, but I've had periods of my life that I've experienced love, and it was obvious with him that I felt so loved, so I've had that before, and I've experienced it before, and I don't mind if I don't experience it again, because being with someone, relationships take a lot of work, and I don't want to work like that anymore. If when I do work, it's going to be for me and for my benefit. And so I'm at that stage, and plus hearing all the stories. Now, let me give a shout out to the Ledge Show, Trey. He brings a lot of news stories, very interesting. I watch him. I'm subscribed to his channel. Um, it's dangerous out there, and I feel safe being single. He brings a lot of stories where men and women are killing each other and shooting each other and stabbing each other while they're in relationships because the other party, you're leaving them. And that's the most dangerous part of a relationship, is when you're going to leave someone. Let me just tell you that if you're going to leave someone, do it very quietly. Plan it out. Use your strategy. Don't let that person know that you're leaving, because that's the part where they nut up. Okay, I'm old school, and we used to say that, but they nut up, and they just go all every which way. So I wish I would be in a relationship again. I feel safer now. I'm not paranoid, but I take precautions. I got my little peacemaker, if you know what I mean. And I got, the security systems, including camera and audio. So, when I come in my house and, when I come into my house, I feel good. Now, I treat myself like gold. So, of course, there's going to be Fort Knox up in here. You're not getting up in here messing with me. So, I do feel safer by myself, because I was with someone, and I won't mention his name, that if anything came down, I would have had to handle the situation. I would have had to protect me and him. Okay, I don't need all that. I'd rather be single. I can come and go as I please. Now, let me tell you this, the best time of my life as far as vacationing is going on a cruise. And this particular cruise, I went by myself. People couldn't get off work. People didn't have the funds available. Which, if you go on a cruise, if you go next year, you can pay by the month, so you don't have to get off all that money at one time. But that's another story. But anyway, I went on the cruise, and I met up with some younger adults. Nobody was above 30, and they know how to have a good time. And I was with them for a couple of days, going on excursions with them, and then we did the karaoke on the ship. And I prefer eating alone, so I had my own table, a little small table. Only because on a cruise, you don't know what you're gonna get when you eat with a large table. Most people are very friendly because they're just so happy to get away from jobs or kids or whatever, that they're pretty cool. But every now and then you get someone that's trying to prove a point or trying to act sedity or whatever, and act like they have class. And if you have class, you don't have to broadcast it. Either you have it or you don't. So anyway, because it was just myself in my stateroom, they gave me the little two-seater table, so I was fine with that. But anyway, I went to the part of I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was Mazatlan. It might have been Puerto Vallarta, name dropping. Okay, but anyway, at one of those ports, they take you go on a excursion where they take you to the part where they show you how they make the tequila. And I'm not a tequila drinker, but they made the best margarita and they don't export. So I got a couple of bottles for gifts for someone on the contingent that when they break that bottle and make margarita, they have to save me some. And so I'm, that's a very sweet drink to me. So I'm not into sweet drinks, but that margarita was good. So I just did different things and by myself, and I enjoyed me. I enjoy my company. I take me wherever I want to go. If I want to go out to dinner, I take me. If I want to go to karaoke, I take me. If I want to go anywhere, I take me because I will accommodate me. And I don't have to worry about this person, I don't want to go there. I'm not in the mood. Well, you know what? Then that's when we're gonna have the problem where you say right there, because I'm going. I'm just in a selfish part of my life and I shouldn't apologize. And you know what? I'm not going to. I love being single, have the married life. Um, and that wasn't the best experience in the world. And I think if I would have had a different partner, I don't care if he sees this or not, but I think if I had a different partner, it wouldn't have been the way it was. And I don't consider myself bitter, but that little piece of experience, somebody could have told me about marriage. I didn't have to experience that. And so comparing married life and single life, I'm gonna start singing "Single Life" by Cameo because I love it. So again, I came back to make another video to redo it, and it's a lot more to being single. But let me show you instead of telling you. So a lot of my videos will be about what I do, how the places I go, and how single life and me, we like that. We like that. So anyway, tell me what you think. Tell me, if you're a single woman or man and that's what you want to do. You want to be single and free and no drama, like Mary J says, no drama. And with a relationship from time to time, there is drama. And if two people get together and they're well suited, it's less drama. So let's just say I wasn't well suited. I'm not even wife material anymore. I don't even know if I was then because, like I said, I don't want to share or compromise or anything. I am in my selfish mode. And the only thing that I love more than my children and some other people that I won't mention their names because if I leave them out, they might feel some kind of way, is God. And then comes me, and then comes them, or some of them even before me. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm a new channel and I need those subscribers. Click the notification bell. Also, give me a like on this video because you guys know I'm telling the truth about the single life. You know I'm telling the truth. And some of you guys that are married are wishing you were single right now. And it's a hard thing being married or with someone and don't want to be with them. I mean, depression comes on, anxiety, hair start falling out, skin start getting all crazy. So it's something to being in a relationship and you don't want to be there. So if I'm talking to you, leave me even if I'm not talking to you, leave me a comment, tell me what you feel about it, and I'll be seeing you soon. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to tell you of a cruise that my sister and I went on a couple of years. So we're on the cruise and we're enjoying the sights and we're enjoying all the good food. We've gone to karaoke. We've gone out on, I think it was like the second day. So we didn't go on any, excursions yet. We're still sailing. So everybody's still on the ship. So we noticed that this couple, man and woman, married couple, we was meeting them a little bit too often to be on such a large ship. And they was just so overly friendly that it just made me standoffish. So I'm sure I was giving out them vibes. So my sister, she's more friendly than I am and a little bit more naive than I am. Hi, sis. So anyway, they're telling her how beautiful she is and how elegant looking she is, and oh, your hair, and just mentioning, you want to touch her hair, and I don't like people touching my hair. A word to you guys that like to touch hair: don't do that. Don't do that. So anyway, they're very complimentary towards her, so she let it ride. So they kept doing it and they just kept being very more and more aggressive, each time we'd seen each other. And we would, like I said, we were seeing them just a little bit too often. So they said to her one time, oh, we can have so much fun together. Now they weren't talking to me, they were talking to her. And they kind of looked at each other, with that come hither type look. And I'm just like, and she's not getting it, but you can tell she's beginning to draw back. So we went back to the stateroom later on, and we were talking, and I told her, girl, they want a menage a trois. They want a threesome. She said, real? I said, yes, they want a threesome. I said, next time they come to you, I'm going to handle it. Because I had been keeping quiet all the time, just observing. I thought, I'm going to handle this. So the next day we were eating breakfast, and here they come. They stand right at the edge of the table. So the guy says, the woman had a camera, and the guy says, oh, we're going to take your picture, talking to my sister. So I just, I looked at him. Oh, no, you're not. Oh, no, you're not. He said, oh, yeah, we're going to take her picture. I said, no, you're not. And he looked at me. Ooh, if looks could kill, I would have dropped dead right then. So I told him, I don't know what's on your agenda, but you're not taking my sister's picture. So I dismissed both of them, and to tell you, the wife, I was expecting her to lick her lips because she was more excited than he was. She was a horny so-and-so. I could tell. So anyway, the couple in back of us and a couple in back of, the couple in back of me and in back of my sister, they were, in earshot. They were ear hustling. And so I was explaining to my sister right then, I said, they want to take your picture. They want a threesome. And who knows what they're going to tell their little freaky friends. Oh, I turned this lady out on the ship. I had her sucking her thumb afterwards. I know that was what they were going to do. Have like their receipts to their little horny friends. And so my sister was saying, while I was explaining all this, they were really, one guy, she expected him to fall off his seat. He was really ear hustling. So we saw them, let me tell you, after that incident, I told my sister, I can see them going to security and turning it around, making like we were bothering them. I said, let's protect ourselves. So we went down to security. I explained the story to them, and security had me look at, he asked what age range. Now, mind you, these people looked like they were like in their late 60s. Maybe not that old, but some people just don't age very well. So they could have been in their early 60s, whatever. But they're too old to be trying to threesome somebody. Anyways, he had me look at all the pictures in that age group, and I never did, see, because there's a lot of people on this ship. So I don't really think I saw all of them because, I don't want to waste my trip just looking at pictures. But anyway, security told me that they would be looking out for me. I voiced one time when I saw the guy that had me look at the pictures, he was out and about, and I told him that my sisters went to look at something, and I felt uncomfortable because, what if they throw her off the ship? So, he told me they had cameras all around or what have you, and so I felt a little better. But I would feel better when I got to her because I just didn't, it's some stuff be happening these days, and I just didn't want them to throw her overboard. So we went to dinner later on, and lo and behold, there they were. I didn't want to leave her there by herself, and I didn't want both of us to leave because then they would have thought that we didn't want to eat then and set somebody else there. But we really could have done that because she felt so uncomfortable. We did ask the maitre d' later to move us, so we did move. So that's that little episode. There's a little more to it, but I wanted to just tell this quickly because I have some errands to run, and I'm going to karaoke tonight. So I hope I get some good footage of that and bring it back to you guys. But anyway, that's the end of that story. But I think his name was Byron. You saw the Medea movie. But anyway, I don't know what that trick's name was. Yes, I said trick. So anyway, I'm going to end this right now, and I will see you guys later. Oh, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. Give me a like, because you want to go on a cruise now, you nasty little perverts that want to menage a trois. You want to go. But anyway, just kidding. I'm going to say goodbye now and have a wonderful day. Bye. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me. Before I start my story for today, I wanted to pay my respects to one of my fellow YouTube creators. She had a channel. Her name is Asha Sharon. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I learned that yesterday she passed away. She had lupus. She chronicled her stay in the hospital, how brave she was. She took us through her ordeal. I didn't get to see all of her videos, but I'm going to go back and just review some of them. She may have lost her battle with lupus, but she gained eternal life. I'm sure of that. People were praying for her. The subscribers were praying for her. The viewers were praying for her and giving her encouragement, and she was encouraging people. So I just wanted to just take a moment, like I said, to pay my respects. She was 30 years old, and no more pain. No more pain. She's with the King. And I'd like to give my condolences to her family, and her friends and everyone that was touched by her life. I thank you for subscribing to her channel. And she would take her oxygen off. I've seen her to give a word to everyone, what she was going through and what the doctor would tell her or the nurse would tell her and what food that people would bring in for her. And she spoke of people very kindly, her sister bringing her things and people bringing her mail. People encouraged her and brought her gifts, a journal and coloring books to get her mind off her problems. So I'm going to just end it there, because after I finish this video, I'm going to go and just review some of the videos that maybe I missed and some that I've seen, and I just want to see this young lady just be a trooper, a warrior. And so let me start on my story. My story is somewhat similar. It's been a while since I even spoke of this, and actually I only spoke of it one time when this incident happened. And I'm not sure of how many people know I haven't spoke of it since the incident. I'm not sure of how many people my sister told this. But my dad was in the hospital. Unbeknownst to me, he was dying. I didn't know that. I just don't receive that. I didn't receive that. I was in denial. I was not so much in denial. I still had hope. So that was the furthest thing from my mind. So in the hospital, me and my sister went to the hospital to visit him. And the story is somewhat a little bit about him, and I'll tell about him later. That's going to take some doing to talk about that particular story. But I'm going to switch over to the guy, the older guy in the bed next to him. And his name was Carl. And whatever ailment he had, I don't know what he had, whether it was cancer. I'm not really sure what the ailment was. But he was dying. And his facial expression was locked. His mouth was locked where it was locked open. The only one that I saw, there was people visiting him, but his wife pretty much stayed with him. And a lot of things I learned afterwards. But when I was in the hospital visiting my dad, I was led to read him Psalms, just the different Psalms over and over, and talk to him. Unbeknownst to me, I spoke of death, and I told him that the sting was taken out of death when Jesus died on the cross. And I was saying things that I really don't know why I was saying at that. It wasn't I didn't come there with the intent of saying those things, but I did know to read Psalms. I learned afterwards that his wife told me, "We heard everything you said." I know she did. I always was told that the hearing is the last thing to go. I don't know. That's what I was told, and that kind of stuck with me. But anyway, getting back, they were listening to me. And so things were happening, and I didn't know what. Things were happening, and my sister and I would both be in a room sometimes, and then when she wasn't in the room, she was in the area where the family members of Carl was there, and sometimes the wife, and then we heard different things, and we connected those things together and put the puzzle together. However, one day when reading Psalms, I was just sitting there in my dad's room, and I knew that I knew that I knew it was like a voice, an inaudible voice telling me to say the sinner's prayer. So I don't remember whether it was so they could hear it or that he could hear it. That part is fuzzy to me right now. If I really thought about it, I would remember, but telling this story is a little emotional. So I got up in between my dad and Carl, and I started saying the sinner's prayer. And I was saying it like in the motion that I'm saying now. And inside, that small, still voice told me, slow down, say it slowly, so he can repeat it or they can repeat it. Now, my dad was a Christian. He believed in the Lord. He loved the Lord. He read his Bible a whole lot. And he wasn't perfect, but he tried to practice the principles, the morals that he was supposed to. So I'm thinking, I'm doing the sinner's prayer. Okay, if my dad need to repent about some things, okay. I'm really thinking it was for Carl because of the coming events. Okay, so I hear that small, still voice tell me to slow down. So I did. And I went through the sinner's prayer. So in between, in the middle of what I'm saying, the prayer that I'm giving, my sister comes in and she just sits in the chair where I was sitting and she's just listening. So I'm continuing. And then it was the prayer, I finished it. We heard about 3 labored breathing, Carl's breathing. He took a breath. He took another breath. And then the last breath he took. At that time, his wife wasn't in the room, so me and my sister witnessed him dying. We witnessed him dead. The nurse comes in the room. Me and my sister crying like we knew Carl all our life. We had just met him in the hospital while my dad was there. We told my brother-in-law came into the room and we told him what happened. My sister had told me, I think the nurse was going to get the wife out of the waiting room or the cafeteria, I'm not sure. But my sister told me that the son had just arrived in Arizona. I suppose the mother called him and said, you got to get here. So he's with the mom at the time before he comes in with the dad, none of them knowing anything as far as him dying. We were the first, my sister and I, to witness that. But my sister told me and her husband that the son said he threw his things in the car, I suppose, on his trip to California. And he heard an audible voice, not in his head, but out loud. And it said, "It is finished." Now, what I have to go back to is his wife. I heard conversations and she had talked to the doctor. And I heard from conversations that the two of them, the husband and her and Carl, her husband, had like a pact. If any one of them went first, they do not want to be resuscitated. They do not want to be worked on. Just let them die. And so she was just concerned because he was on his deathbed, but it would seem to be taking a while. And so she even talked to the doctor about, is there anything you can do? And the doctor said, oh, no, we don't do that. And I don't know whether the doctor misunderstood or, thinking euthanize him. I don't know what the doctor thought, but that's what I heard. And through my sister, she was saying in the waiting room with the son, as far as I can remember, she was voicing her concern about the state of his soul. She was voicing his concern whether he was even ready spiritually to die. She was voicing her concern that of I don't know whether he was once a Christian and fell back, or what they call it, backslide, or whether he was ever a Christian, or she didn't know the status of where he was spiritually. I believe that's why I was told to say the sinner's prayer. And it's not by coincidence that when I finished that prayer, he took 3 breaths and then he was dead. Like the son said he heard, it is finished. That's why he was lingering on. He needed to say those words. He needed to repent. He needed to ask for forgiveness in his mind, and he was straight. I believe that. I'll leave you to your conclusions, but I believe that was my purpose for that day. Carl had to hear those words. Now, my dad went on to live with my sister about 3 weeks afterwards, and that's another story. But I just wanted to bring that to you because it was things that was going on in the room. My dad would look out my set and say, and nobody was in the room but me and him and Carl next door and the wife, but it was a curtain drawn. So Carl and my dad could not see each other. When I sat in a chair, I could look out and I could see both my dad, Carl, and Carl's wife. But my dad would say some things like, who are all those people? It's a party going on. And I would look at him like, okay, Dad. I didn't understand till later. I believe the angels were celebrating. Now, you might call me foolish, but that's what I believe. The angels were celebrating. It was a party going on. So before I get too emotional, I'm going to end this right now. Like, it's much more to the story, but I didn't want it to be too lengthy. I wanted to tell you the beautiful parts of that. It was a beautiful day. Yes, Carl left this earth, but I believe at this very moment, he's with the King. So I'm going to end it for real this time. And as always, have a beautiful, blessed day. And thank you for watching. Goodbye. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I have a few things I want to go over, so I don't want to make this too lengthy, but it's getting back to Tamar. Let me just say that Vincent is in depression right now because he thought that, according to my sources, he thought that him and Tamar would get back together. So he's not really pleased with the next information that Tamar has a man. And, she says she's very much in love. She's known him 3 months. And my opinion is just different from what she's had. So, I'm not going to tell her she's not in love, but my opinion says, he's just a different guy. I found out the reason why Tamar walked off, mainly because Ayanla brought up the point that she was molested as a child, and that was something that only a couple of people knew. The new guy and I don't know which sister or her mom, but that's just something that was a secret. And if she was going to tell it, it was supposed to be her story and not Ayanla's um, storyline to bring that out and not even tell Tamar that she was going to do that. So that's why Tamar was mad. But let me tell you, she's only known this guy for 3 months. I don't think Vincent, if he knew about it, I don't think he would have said anything to Ayanla because, he would want to get Tamar back. I don't think the mom would or the sisters would, and definitely not the dad, because although they're fighting, they wouldn't want to hurt Tamar like that. I won't believe that her sisters would want to hurt Tamar like that. I say it's her new man that told it. Okay, let me tell you something that some people may not know. A lot of people know this information, but some of you guys may not. Ayanla is a Yoruba priestess. She doesn't broadcast that because of, some of the backlash she would probably get. And the Yoruba religion originated in Nigeria. And this guy is from Nigeria. So I'm thinking he would have more of a reason to spill this to Ayanla. I don't know if he's in the Aruba religion. However, that I tried to investigate that, but that's like something that you just can't do that in an afternoon or a day or whatever. It takes time to really research that. Some of the things that I did find out about that religion is they can intermingle, and they do intermingle with other religions. So some things in Christianity is not new to them, and they're not disputing some things, and so it's easy for them to cross over to that. They have some ties also in Hindu. I also found out, and I only we'll hit on a few because, like I say, it takes research to know the ins and out of this religion, as in a lot of religions. They believe that before you're born, you know your destiny. You know where you're going to live. You know who you're going to love. You know a lot of things about yourself, even the fact that you know when you're going to die. And then after you're born, you lose this sense of destiny. You just have to come to throughout your life. You just little things will take you to certain points where all that destiny will become reality. Set forth before you were born. As I was investigating, I saw that they do animal sacrifices. not all the houses do, not all everyone, but a lot of them do animal sacrifices. Now in Christianity, so did the people in the Old Testament, where they would bring the turtle doves, and and there would be sacrifices. But in Christianity, if you've studied it, if you are Christian, you know that when Jesus came along, he was the sacrifice, and so that those sacrifices are not necessary anymore. It's just, like I said, it's just too complex for me to tell you, from just a few hours of research. I mean, I've watched videos, I've researched it, and it's just too much. So I'm not going to even try, but I just remembered some things that I researched. So Ayala is a priestess, and this new guy is from Nigeria, where this religion stems from, as I stated. So, if, for lack of a better word, they may be kindred spirits, as far as, having something in common and connected spiritually. So, all of a sudden she gets this guy, and then this family, Tamar tells tells him the secret that she was molested, and then all of a sudden Ayanla knows it. It's not rocket science to figure out who told. So that means he betrayed her. And, she was on Wendy Williams. I did see that. I didn't watch Wendy Williams, but I watched another YouTube channel that spoke of that showed the actual TV presentation of the Wendy Williams show. And, she's all excited. She's in love. And, he's a snack. And, and it just showed, like, from his neck down. I think it didn't show his face. So I don't think anyone, the public doesn't know how he looks. But it looks like he betrayed her. And so I hope she's not, getting herself into something, way over her head. Because and I say if he's in the Yoruba religion, that's something she has to know. That's something that's going to have to come out, because she's saying she's saved, and that's a word that Christians use, and, that walk down that religion and Christianity, although, like I said, Yoruba religion can intermingle with Christians. So a lot of things that you might say in your faith, then they're familiar with that. And Ayanla can say certain things when she pray and when she talk that you could say, oh, that's scripture. But they can do that. I know that another thing they believe in, at a certain level of the religion, and I forgot the name of the word, Risha comes to my mind, but I don't know whether that's the word, that they can possess other people. So, take heed if you're going to research that religion, because it's deep, and it's not something, like I said, I want to speak on freely about. Okay, this is the whole thing about this religion, not with just an afternoon, few hours of studying it. No, I can't do that. I don't want to get things wrong. And I know I probably pronounced some of the names, Yoruba, I'm not sure, Arisa, I'm not sure. So I'm just going to leave it at that. One thing I do want to point out, where the sisters didn't want Tracy to film. Okay, in watching the Braxton Family Values, I see Tawanda talking on the phone with Tony, and they showed that conversation. Okay, if there's no filming, there's no filming. So why is Tawanda filming, even though it's a telephone call to Tony, where they're gonna, get together, and she's gonna tell Tony, which was she was filming somewhere, making a movie somewhere, and Tony was not abreast of a lot of the information about the walkout. But again, if you're not filming, how are we seeing you talking to Tony? So if it's supposed to be a walkout or what have you, do just that. We're not supposed to see anybody but Tracy. So that's just my take on it. And from my take on it, I'm thinking all this is just, for ratings then, trying to build things up. I do not think Tamar's with this guy for ratings. I really think that is real as far as her divorcing Vincent and being with this guy. I do think that's real. I don't think that Vincent, like I said, would say anything to Iyanla if he knew this molesting information. And I'll say alleged, but I do believe her. And I will also say that with Tamar and Vince, I mean, on both parts, I saw such disrespect. Now, he knew her and had been married to her for years when they had that show, their reality show. So he knows her personality. He knows how she can be silly.com and all this, the way she talks. And he knows all that. But when they went even on trips with this other couple, he treated her like a little silly child. No, granted, she may act that way somewhat, but, sometimes. But he treated her, to me, he would kind of raise his voice to her, and I just felt a little when I would see the way he treated and talked to her. And now all of a sudden he's so in love with you. You knew what you married. Knew her personality, how goofy she could be, and then you would belittle her and just watch some of the old shows if you're able to. Watch some of them, the way he talked to her. I would have got sick of it. So that's going off in another direction, but I just want to let everyone know that that family Braxton, you don't call someone, and you're supposed to be Christian, you don't call a Yoruba priestess to fix your life. Dig into Iyanla's life. Like all of us, she got a lot of baggage. She just got her maybe tucked away, neatly folded, but she got a lot of baggage. And you don't call someone that, their life is whatever to fix your life. She's not able to fix her life, my life, your life. I got dogs. She can't fix my dog's life. And I hate to be, going to come down on her like that. But she's, in my opinion, she's a fraud. Iyanla is a fraud. Now, there's some things that she has said that, of course, I agree with you on that. Because, if somebody keep talking, evidently, after a while, they're going to hit on some truth, hopefully. But it's so much to say about her and Oprah's relationship, and when she didn't get back with the OWN station, how her life was, and it wouldn't, she was kind of hard off, and then she weaseled herself back into Oprah's life and apologized and gave this excuse and that excuse, and now she's back in the good graces, and look how she's prospered. So I look at that and I think that's all suspect. And it's like that. She's back in good graces with Oprah because the money's good, and because Oprah has made some millionaires, through association with her. I mean, people who have had relationship with Oprah, a lot of them are wealthy now. So, you know, some of Oprah's friends are not really Oprah's friends because they with you chick for the money. So, you know, they say don't judge, but that's the way it looks to me. Not judge it, I'm just observing. So anyway, I'm gonna end there. I just if you have some free time, just look into that uh Yoruba religion and that and what's the role of the priestess and how Ayanla ties into that and this secret that Tamar had. I'm sorry, Tamar, but your boyfriend spilled the beans, and I wouldn't even be looking at Ayala crazy. I'd be looking at the boyfriend because nobody knew this information. So that's why she walked off. So anyway, I'm going to leave you there. And so thank you for joining in again. And I want to thank all of my subscribers. And if you have not, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe now and hit the notification bell. And I'm going to leave you right there. So goodbye for now, and I'll be back with another video. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. This is Marilyn Gale. I know you guys have heard about that Alabama abortion law. And the law has been signed that if a doctor would perform abortions, they can face up to 99 years in prison. The law goes into effect in 6 months and is expected to be challenged in court. Now, patients were calling and saying, for instance, I just had made my appointment yesterday. What do you mean I can't come back and have my abortion on Friday? Referring to the restriction that requires women in Alabama to wait 48 hours before getting an abortion. The phones has been ringing and ringing at the Planned Parenthood Southeast, which covers Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi. Now, this is my issue with banning abortions. It will not stop abortions. Before abortions were legal, the laws didn't stop abortions. Will women go to back alley quack abortions? Many women lost their life. Women and girls lost their life getting abortions from quacks, unclean instruments, people that just did not know what they were doing. Let me share a story that happened many years ago. It's a true story. In my neighborhood, there was this young girl that lived down the street from my family. I was about 10 or so. And she, I think, was about 13, maybe 14. Well, she got sick and nobody seemed to know why. My mom and I would visit sometimes once a week, sometimes, a little more time passed by, but we would visit, me and her. She was a beautiful young girl that was confined to a wheelchair after some time went on. I didn't really know what was happening. All I knew that she was getting sicker and sicker and more frail as time went on. And because I didn't understand what was going on, I was a little afraid that I would catch what she had. Now, this beautiful young girl just withered away slowly until she died. A few years later, her brother was talking to me. We were close in age and growing up together. We were in a lot of classes together. And I think maybe this was 3 years or so after his sister died. And he told me that their father would have sex with his sister and she got pregnant. And the mother took her to somebody to get rid of the baby. And his sister was never the same. She was taken to doctor after doctor after doctor, and nobody knew what to do. Yes, he told me that her father raped his sister time after time. I don't like abortions, but I also don't like the fact that women will have to go to quacks with unsterile surroundings and instruments. In my heart, I know that abortions are not a good thing. I know that in my heart, but there's always exceptions to the rule. What about the little girl down the street from me, down the street from me, that was violated by her father? And because she couldn't just go to the hospital to get an abortion, I don't know where she went, but they did a botched job. She ended up dying. A slow, lingering death, painful death. She didn't just die immediately. She suffered for many years. Then she was confined to a wheelchair, and then she died. And I was always confused about that until her brother, which is deceased now himself, told me. So will we resort back to that? Will we resort back to the back alley quack doctors? Because I assure you, that law is not going to stop anyone who's desperate. It's just going to have them resort to situations that they normally wouldn't do. I have a lot of questions. I had a lot of questions as I grew older to ask them, but then we moved away and I never saw him again. But he must have overheard a lot of arguing and a lot of conversation that a 10-year-old should never hear. But more importantly, his sister endured some things that a lot of 13-year-olds shouldn't have to endure. So you're telling me that she had to go to a quack because abortions weren't legal, and she didn't even have a choice about that.
She was taken there. So evidently, somebody thought that was the best idea. This little girl had no say about anything, and now she is dead. So, incest is not going to stop because you pass an abortion bill. It's not going to stop. Predators are going to be predators. Rapists are going to be rapists. And so, if a minor is taken to that back alley, she has no choices. I'm not saying abortion is right because I don't believe it is. However, there is always two sides to a coin. There are always exceptions to the rule. If that law goes through, more females, young and not so young, are going to perish. Because they're going to have to stay undercover, and a doctor is not going to expose himself to facing up to 99 years if he breaks the rules. So there's going to be quacks, people with little or no medical experience. They're going to fake that paperwork and perform abortions. That bill will not stop abortions, people. It will not. So I just wanted to bring you that story. I remember that clear as if it was yesterday, walking down the street, maybe a couple of short blocks down the street to visit. I remember her name, which I won't say. The family, I'm not sure if any of the family, I know the mom and the dad are deceased. I'm pretty sure about that. And my friend is deceased. There was another person, I won't say whether it's male or female. I think they are still alive, and that's why I don't want to name any names or get too specific because, I just wanted to tell this story to prove a point, but I'm not trying to put things out there for people to look at her crazy, because I don't think many people knew. I know after my friend told me, I told my mom what he told me, and I think I told my sister what was said, and she may or may not remember, but I don't think many people knew. So I'm just saying that bill is not going to correct anything, whether you believe in abortions or not. It's not going to help anything. It won't. It won't. So that's all I got for right now. A little emotional because it brought back, I hadn't thought about that in years until this is all in the news about the Alabama abortion laws. And in other states, there's the heartbeat bill, I hadn't thought about it in years. I kind of just pushed it back in my memory until this came up, and it made me think of some very hurtful memories that I had as a 10-year-old. So I'm going to stop there. Thank you for listening. Think about what I've said. Share this video this podcast with people who think they have all the answers about abortion. Share it so they consider that you don't have all the answers. It's always going to be people who are seeking for one reason or the other. And then some people just won't have the choice. Adults will make the choice for little young girls. So anyway, have a great evening, guys, and I'll be back with another story. And believe me, this is a true story that I thought about when all this was coming out. I thought about, and I said, I have to tell my story. I have to tell the experience I have with someone I knew. So I'll end it here. Thank you guys for joining me, and have a good evening. Good night. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. Today's topic, you caught him cheating. You got your proof. Now what do? Although I don't give marital advice, let me tell you a story and how I handled it. So my ex-husband now, my husband and I were going out. So when I looked in the back seat, on the floor, there was a pair of panties. I picked them up with my pen because I'm not touching them bad boys. I picked them up with my pen. They're larger than what I wear at that time. I wasn't touching them. I asked him, who are these? Who do these belong to? They're not mine. And he looked at me like, I don't know. I don't know where those came from. Okay. I didn't act a fool. I dropped it. For then, I did not scream and holler and throw things and scratch him up and punch him and kick him like maybe I wanted to, but I didn't. What I did was I went apartment hunting. But before I actually put down the money for the apartment, I had a talk with my brother. Because if anybody would know, it would be my brother. Because my brother had mutual friends that my husband had. So that weekend, my brother came over and we were talking. I didn't tell him about the panties. And I was just saying, during our conversation, I'm not happy. And if I had a reason, I don't have a reason, but if I had a reason, I would leave in a heartbeat. And my brother told me a story how my ex was dating one of the people that him and his wife knew. And they had been together. That's all I needed. Then I told him about the panties and told him they were bigger than what I wear. And he admitted the girl was bigger than I was. Confirmation of what I knew. And other things had happened, and I didn't get upset. I just began to observe more. And I think that's what triggered me by looking in the back seat on the floor. So I went along with my plans. I got my apartment, got that straight, and until it was ready, I moved in with a family member. And that brought out another story that had nothing to do with my husband, but to do with what happened to me when I was 15 years old. So ladies, will you get counseling? Will you stay with him? Some women don't want to know, because if you know, that means you have to take action. Whether that action means going to counseling and getting therapy. It might mean that. It might mean saving your marriage and talking and communicating and seeing what the problem. But see, I didn't want to save my marriage because there's other things that was going on that triggered me to put everything together and just say, I'm done with this. I got to leave. One of the things that triggered me to get all my proof together so I could have a clear conscience of what I was going to do and why, and just felt good that I tried everything I knew how to do. But some things I'm at work and I get a call from the sheriff's department to come pick my children up. My children, it had to be in the summer because my children were not in school. And so he was supposed to babysit. You guessed it. He was unemployed. So he was supposed to babysit. He takes my children to the drug house to score drugs. I get to the drug house. I get to the sheriff's department and they have my children sitting on the bench with the rest of the criminals. And I said, oh, hell no. So this tied in real close to the panties. So it was I just had to leave. Not only are you a cheater, you're a crackhead. Well, I don't know whether it was crack, but you do drugs. You're not a good role model for my children. So hence the divorce. We didn't scream and holler. Well, he raised his voice and screamed and hollered like a girl, but I didn't. I just did what I knew I had to do and got out. And ladies, let me mention again, and let me just say this. Women are guilty of this too, so I'm not going to put it all on the men, but we're talking about the women right now. But let me tell you this, women, I've said this before. When you're planning your escape, do it very discreetly. It's the most dangerous part of the relationship is when you want to leave. So I just wanted to do that quick story about cheating. I don't tolerate it. There's no second chances in my mind for cheating. Maybe they'll change and maybe they won't. But if they change, they'll change for the other woman because I don't give second chances, not for cheating, because you disrespected our marriage bed and you disrespected me and the children and our vows. So with me, cheating, no second chances. So if you like this video, please give me a like. Please comment and share it if you'd like to share it with someone. Hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell for future notifications. And until next time, have a blessed day. Goodbye. Thank you for joining me today. I brought in my fur baby. His name is Sir Duke. I named him a big name because he's not going to grow any more than this, maybe a little bigger. I got him from the pet store, and if you can avoid those, I know there's some good ones around, but a lot of them are just puppy mills, and they just keep breeding and breeding and breeding the dogs. And he's a Yorkie, and he was born with a couple of birth defects, and one of them is his esophagus is not is smaller, narrower
than it should be. So I can't feed him large, the large meals, the amount that a dog his size would eat at one meal. So I have split it up into 3 meals a day. He's very greedy, so it's hard to give him a small portion. But if I give him more than what he should have, then his breathing is very labored. Also, you can't see, but um, his back right paw, his leg is kind of bent a little, like he's trying to be bow-legged in one leg. So anyway, my little, deformed baby. But I didn't want to take him back because if they couldn't sell him, I can imagine they would put him to sleep, and that would just anger me. Um, I thought about taking them to court to retrieve some of my money that I've spent on vets and emergency hospitals. I had so much on my plate, so the statutes of limitations have not expired yet, so I'm still going to do that. So I just want you to meet my baby, my fur baby, Sir Duke. He's a mischievous little guy, and he's just real lovable. He follows me everywhere, and I mean everywhere. And if I go outside, he'll wait by the door like most dogs do and wait till I come in. But he's very, very, very attached to me. So when I go on vacation, the only person that I can really leave him with is my daughter. She doesn't know that yet, but my daughter, because I just don't trust that they'll feed him correctly or whatever. And, maybe I'm just being overprotective, but I'll see if I can get a good referral, maybe. But that's all for now. And if you have not subscribed, please do so and hit that notification bell. So say goodbye, Sir Duke. Say goodbye. See you later. Bye bye. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I want to talk about love. Love, people say that so much is becoming a cliche. At different places that I've worked over the years, I've always worked with people on the phone and direct contact. And after they say bye, some people will say, "Love you. You don't know me. Stop doing that. Say you appreciate me because I've helped you." I just don't throw love out there. You can ask any of the people that know me, my family members. I don't just say I love you unless I mean it. You can see the stories online, on television, people who have professed their love and have killed their spouses, their significant others in the name of love. The guy who killed his girlfriend on Facebook, I'm sure he's told her he loved her. The woman who beat her husband with a skillet, she's probably told him. I'm sure in both cases they've said, "I love you." Love does not hurt. Love is kind. Love does not store things away that you've fences away that you've done, and then when it's convenient or you disappoint them, they pull it out and use against you. That's not love. A lot of us, well, let me tell you this. I went and I wanted to use see what the dictionary said, love. And the dictionary speaks of it as a deep affection.
But what the thing later on when I was reading the certain definitions, it mentioned, the dictionary mentioned idolize and worship, those two words. That's scary. Nobody is supposed to idolize anyone. The only person we're supposed to idolize is our Heavenly Father. I think when people idolize and worship, that's when things go wrong. It's you disappoint them, and because they worship you, they're thinking to themselves, "You're my everything. How dare you disappoint me?" And then I think that's when the killings and the stabbings and the shootings come about, because you've disappointed them. And how dare you? Because I love you. I worship you. I idolize you. Don't idolize me. You know what I like? I like when you appreciate me, when you trust me, when you respect me. That tells me that you care about me, that you have those intense affections towards me. You can say it all you want, but if you don't show me, what good is it? It's just a cliche now. Martin Lawrence made a movie. There's a thin line between love and hate, and there is. Or it's the love. Should we replace you? There's a thin line between worship and idolizing you and hate. I think I like that better. Because if you truly, truly love me, that won't turn into hate. As I stated before, love is kind. So I wanted to just come in and just discuss that, because too many people are using that word and it shouldn't apply. It's become one of those words that just doesn't mean anything unless there's action behind it. And when you tell me that you love me, maybe it's just not so much that I don't believe you, but it's maybe you're not loving me the way I want you to love me. And maybe you tell people that you love them, maybe you're not loving them the way they need you to love them. Instead of, okay, let's say a woman is out there working and you can't find a job, and you're looking. But all day, the days that you aren't looking for a job and she's out there working, and you're sitting home all day playing video games, you better check yourself, brother. You could have dinner ready for her. You can have the house clean. You can have her bath water waiting for her. Oh, that works. Oh, that's foreplay. You can have, if you have children, you can have the children fed, have the children do their homework, and then when it's time for them to go to bed, send them up there. You can have them all tucked away. That will show her that you love her. But she comes home and she's tired, and the women can do the same, don't clean the house, and the man out there working, you don't have dinner ready for him. Okay, we can do it both ways. But today we're talking about the men. But you're sitting home doing nothing, and like I said, she's working all day, and she comes home, the house is a mess, there's no dinner, so she's got to come home, she's got to clean up the house, she's got to make dinner, she's got to help the kids with their homework, and all you're just there. You're sucking up air. That's all you're doing.
So love is an action. It's not just a four-letter word you throw out there to get what you want, to manipulate people. Oh, he loves me, so I'm going to continue to go out there and work like a slave and then come back and, he could be playing video games, but I love him. Doesn't work that way. She's going to begin to resent you. I speak from experience. So I'm telling you guys this. If you don't get it right, you can say those I love you all the time. You can wake up and go to sleep with it on your lips if you want to. But action, that's what gets her. Those little things you do, that's the foreplay. Oh, the things I've learned over the years. But one thing I have learned is most people don't even know how to love. They just say it. So I'm going to leave you with that. Leave me a comment, click the like, because you know I'm telling the truth. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, love one another. I'm trying. It's hard to love thy neighbors, like the word says. It's hard. And I'm speaking from experience. But I'm going to try if you will. Until next time, thank you. Welcome, and thank you for tuning in today. I decided to stay home today, and I was just kind of in a silly mood. So I figured I'd go on the computer and online and just find a fun story. With all the tragedies and killings and what have you, I just didn't want to read anything serious. So, in browsing, I came across this story. They're having a fair in Wisconsin. And so one of the vendors, and she's been in business for a while, one of the vendors, um, she takes a pretzel and roll it in like the cream marshmallow stuff, and then she rolls black ants on the marshmallow. They're gonna stick, and people are buying that. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard of. I mean, if I was starving, that'd be one thing. I'd probably eat it with a quickness, but I'm okay. I'm not starving. And I just think that's nasty, and everybody is saying that ants are salty. So I guess the salty and the sweetness of the marshmallow and then the salty of, I don't know. But anyway, it reminded me of something when I was in grammar school. And across the street from the grammar school, there was a place we called the Parlor. And we used to go there and eat their greasy French fries and mostly dance and have fun with the kids and, our age group. And so one time, this man we called Abe, he was eating there. My girlfriend said, look, look, look. She pointed towards a roach crawling, where he was eating, right across where he was eating. So he stopped eating and he popped the roach with the spoon, and all that squishy stuff came out. But he took this thing, spoon, and started eating his soup. Didn't wipe it off, didn't ask for another spoon. I mean, I couldn't eat after that anyway. So every time we saw him afterwards, well, by the way, I didn't eat there anymore. But we started calling him Abe the Roach Man. I don't know. Like I said, I'm in a silly mood. That story just remind me of
You know, I know ants and roaches are different, but she probably have that as a vendor, chocolate coated roaches anyway. So anyway, I just thought I'd bring you something silly and lighthearted instead of serious, you know, all this serious stuff nowadays. But I just couldn't believe it that people just was, you know, flocking to eat these ant covered pretzels, marshmallow concoctions she made. So anyway, I just wanted to make this quick. I just wanted to share that with you, this ridiculous story. Those of you that like ants, I don't mean to offend you, but anyway, if you have not subscribed, I'm sorry, subscribe to my channel, please do so now and click the notification bell. I promise I won't bring you too many nasty stuff like that, but I might come back tonight and if I see something stupid again, I'll videotape it. So, okay, I'm silly. So, anyway, goodbye.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I know you guys have probably heard that Michelle Williams and Chad Johnson call off their engagement, but I'm going to give you a little my take on it after I read the article for you. Is over. Michelle Williams and fiance Chad Johnson have split and ended their engagement. The singer announced via social media on Friday, December 7th. I still remain fearless. I guess I still remain single. Things didn't work out, Williams, 38, wrote on her Instagram story. The healing that needs to take place is a must. I don't want to destroy any relationship. Blessings to him, his family, and ministry. Hashtag fearless. The former Destiny Child's member met the pastor, 41, when she attended one of his retreats in Arizona in March 2017. The pair went public with their relationship 4 months later, and Johnson popped the question about a year after their first meeting. That time I got engaged March 21st, the fearless crooner tweeted in April. The timing couldn't have been more perfect, she told US Weekly exclusively in May. I'll never forget the day he proposed. We were in Pebble Beach, California, one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen, surrounded by a few friends. He presented me a video of him flying to my hometown of Rockford, Illinois, and going on a proposal tour. He went to a few of my family members that are really, really dear to me, and of course, my parents. I'm a traditional girl, so if he didn't ask my parents first, I probably would have said no. After the video ended, he was on one knee and he asked me to marry him. I was wailing, I will, I will, I will. While the news of their separation comes as a surprise, the musician recently revealed that she plans to spend the holiday alone. I'll be in New York all by my lonesome self, she told US in November of her holiday plans. The singer, meanwhile, couldn't help but gush about Johnson. I love his heart. I love everything that he stands for, everything that he represents, she added. I love how he loves me and the respect and honor he has for me and my family. That's important to me. Okay, first thing, it really doesn't surprise me that relationship is over, because one way you can end a relationship with a quickness is get a reality show. Things are said for TV, but I honestly feel that things are also said from the heart that you really want to say, but you're trying to put out information for the reality show. But in reality, is what's what's in your heart. Like the time that they got in an argument, and he asks her, Did you take your medication? Now, see, I see something wrong with that because that lets me know that that's going to be your relationship. Anytime he doesn't like what you say, anything that he doesn't like what you do, it's going to be a matter of, did you take your medication today? Also, when she went, and I watched that reality show, and it was some moments that were very uneasy for me as far as how, things were working out for her. And that's his family, his sister and his dad. It seemed like later, it seemed like they warmed up to each other, but to me, that was a farce. I think that was just for TV, and I think that they tried to look like they warmed up more to her so they wouldn't look like the booty holes. The father had said something to the fact, and I'm just paraphrasing, she said something to the fact of being in the family now, of being a part of the family. And he quickly said something to the fact that, you're not there yet. And I'm paraphrasing, I can't remember exactly, but when he said that, that let me know, girlfriend, he don't want you in that family. He does not want you in that family, and that sister don't want you in the family because Chad had been helping her with her kids because of her circumstances, and she wanted Chad to continue to be the help that she wanted, and maybe she did need it. But after Michelle and him would have gotten married, he wouldn't be being a husband, he wouldn't be able to offer that help he used to. So that's what I saw. I just saw that the two of them didn't want it. I think they show some hints of racism. To be honest with you, now I could be wrong, and it won't be the first time I've ever been wrong. But usually, I can spot things like that. And my opinion is they got some racism up in there somewhere. The sister and the daddy. Chad, I think he had his background, his as far as who he hung around with, his friends, and what he enjoyed. I think his background is a little bit more diverse than what his father and his sister is. What their background, who people they had in their circle. I think Chad's circle was a little bit more open minded. Whether he's a racist or not. That just because he was going to marry her does not mean he was not. And I'm sick of people saying, well, he was going to marry her, or, a white guy to a black guy. Well, that means they're not racist. No, that does not mean that. And I had a video on that, and, stop saying that is the name of the video. So you want to go back and hear my views on that, watch the video, stop saying that. But anyway, I think that because he of the diverse background that he had, maybe his heart was warming up a little bit more to having a black spouse. But then when the interaction of Michelle, maybe I think in one particular case that he felt like he was he said it, he was a caretaker to his dad, and felt like he had to watch him, and that's paraphrasing. And I think and it came out on the show that now Michelle is feeling like, okay, you're not my caretaker. Are you feeling like because we're I went to get help for my mental illness, and because of that, now you feel like you have to watch me and see where I am at all times of day, and just be a caretaker. No, I don't want you to be my caretaker. So anyway, that's my spiel on it. I think that she made the right decision on, or whoever made the decision, but it's looking like she made the decision to end the engagement. And I agree with her on that. I think she made a sound decision. I think she looked at the pros and the cons, and there were more cons than it was pros. And and looking at the situation on the reality show, and then just certain things she said and whatever. I think it's a good idea that she ended it because. Um, at one particular time, she did say that she was wondering whether she was enough for him, paraphrasing again, whether she was enough. Now you have traveled the world, you love God, you are talented, you're taking photo shoots, you have roles in plays and movies, and you're not enough for him. Get some self-esteem, Michael. Michael, I'm sorry, that was a slip of the tongue. I'm sorry, I did not mean that. That was a slip of the tongue. Michelle, get some self-esteem because you are more than enough, Michelle. You are more than enough. In fact, is he enough for you? That's the question I want to ask. But anyway, I'm going to end this now. And if you have not subscribed, do that now. Thank you very much, new subscribers. Thank you very much, all my subscribers. And hit that notification bell if you haven't. I thank you for joining me. And everyone have a lovely evening. Good night. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. You know what? Sometimes I come across a story and I will say, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard of. And so every now and then, when I bring out a video, I want to say, this is the stupidest story of the week. So this might go for the stupidest story of the month. So anyway, let me tell you, it was a woman that the headlines, and I'm just saying what the headline said. The woman farts in store, pulls knife on offended customer. Okay, the cops were called because, it goes further. The story says he smelled it and she dealt with it. A Florida woman who passed gas in a convenience store pulled a knife and threatened to gut a man who complained about it, police said. Shanetta Yvette Wilson, 37, was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. Let me stop there. When they talk about a deadly weapon, are they talking about her passing gas or the knife? I don't know. But, because if you ate some beans or a boiled egg or whatever, it could be a deadly weapon. Okay, let's continue with the story. Police arrested her on Sunday and booked her at a detention facility in, I don't know how to pronounce this, Pompano Beach, where her bail was set at $2,500. Police say the alleged colon culprit threatened the customer, John Walker, when he complained about her flatulence. I don't use that word, but I imagine what it means. While standing in line together at a Dollar General store in Dania Beach, according to an affidavit obtained by the Miami Herald. Walker got into a verbal argument with Wilson in reference to the defendant's farting loudly, the arrest report states. Let me stop there. Not only did she fart, she did it loudly. Don't she know how to do the silent ones? The ones that, well, I don't have to describe it, but you guys know what I mean. I mean, she was bold with her stuff. She just let it rip. Okay. Let me go on with the last little bit. Wilson reportedly took a knife out of her purse and threatened to gut the man. She held the knife in her right hand and motioned in a way that looked like she was going to stab him, police said. It was not clear if Wilson had an attorney. Well, if I was attorney, and you know what, I don't think I would take that case. She would probably get a court-appointed one, but I would dodge that one with a quickness. I'm just saying, to stand in a line in a public place or walking around in a public place and you just let it rip, and then when somebody mention it to you, or tell you that they think that's offensive, and then you're gonna get mad and you are the offender. Come on, lady. If you had to ask the people in the general dollar store, where's your restroom, that's what you do. You go in the restroom, and whatever's heard, whatever smelled, that's the other person's. You shouldn't be standing near the restroom. But I know sometimes you just gotta do what you do. Sometimes you just can't help it, especially if you're having some type of, issue. If you just ate something you shouldn't have, or drank something that you shouldn't have. I know it happens, but I just thought this was the stupid story. It was, I don't know. I don't think I would have said something. I just would have let somebody take my place in line, and I would have got to the end of the line, because I'm not about smelling somebody when they passing gas either, to tell you the truth. I'm not making excuses for her. She should have went to the restroom or stepped outside and let the breeze blow it away in another direction. I don't know. Anyway, I don't expect y'all to comment on this unless you want to, but this is just the stupid story of the month. And thank you for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notification bell. And you guys have a good evening. Okay, watch it when you're out in public. Don't pass no gas, because the police will be called. Anyway, I will talk to you later. Have a great evening. Good night.
Okay, this is a picture of my Christmas tree. I've had it up for about 4 or 5 days, but I didn't decorate it. And I'm gonna buy some other things for it. And there you go. We're in my family room. I have not on one section I have my sectional couch and my big screen, and there's a fireplace. Um, but my family room is long, so the other half, I don't have anything. I don't know whether I want a pool table, but on one section, I'm going to have all my podcast equipment, my microphone, my desk. Come here. Come here. Let everybody see how ugly you are. You're going to the groomers tomorrow. I'm washing his clothes, the ones I want him to wear. Yes, he wears clothes because he's a gentleman. And I'll let you see how cute he is when he comes back, all dressed. I can't get a clear picture of him because Duke is always in the way. They play good. They're buddies. They fight sometimes, but that's family. So I will end this now not really. I'll pause it now. So I'll let you see what he looks like when he comes back. He'll be so cute. Okay, Gizmo, come here. Come here, Gizmo. Come here. Where are you? There you are. He even looks different. He just got back for the groomers. There you are. Come here, come here. Oh, sneezing. It's not cold out. You just got a bath and you're all gussy up. Okay. So there's the pretty baby. His name is Gizmo, and I wish he would be still so I could come here, Gizmo. Gizmo. Okay, come on. There you are. Good shot. Smile. Smile for the camera. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Just a quick, what is it? We did okay, nobody wants to see you, Kwame. We did a quick makeover for the gizmo. That's my middle puppy. Well, he's not a puppy anymore, he's grown. So, thank you guys for joining me. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Have a good evening. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Welcome to everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about a lady named Loretta Jones. The headlines are: she fought for better health care in LA's inner city. She dies at 77. I kind of paraphrase the headlines. I will leave the link in the description area. Loretta Jones, for 2 years, weekend mornings for Loretta Jones, she would begin with a drive from her Wilshire district home to Crenshaw to pick up a woman who needed to go to Hawthorne for methadone treatment. The woman had shown up homeless and was on heroin outside the Office of Healthy African American Families, the nonprofit Jones founded in 1992 to advocate for healthcare equity. She just needed someone to reach out, said Jones' daughter, Felica Jones. That's exactly what she got. Loretta Jones got the woman treatment and an apartment. She lived a good life in her own apartment until she passed away, Felica Jones said. That was typical of Loretta Jones, her daughter said. My mother has always opened her door to every person that needed love and care and guidance. A prolific foster care mom whose 1979 move from Massachusetts to Los Angeles led to a collaboration with UCLA researchers that helped bridge the gap between community care and academia. Jones died November 22nd from esophageal cancer. Since 2011, Jones served as an associate director of UCLA Clinical and Translational Science Institute. She was co-author of more than 80 peer-reviewed articles. Jones is most noted for her 2009 collaboration with UCLA professor Kenneth Wells, pioneering a model for what is called community-partnered participatory research. Loretta Jones says everyone deserves the right to live. Everyone deserves good health care, and we're all responsible for making it happen. The article quoted her as saying, she's a native of Tewksbury, Massachusetts. Jones spent 10 years in foster care as a child and became a foster parent of more than 20 kids. Because of her own experience, she always wanted to make sure children had a home and were loved, Felica Jones said. We had a 7-bedroom house and every room was full. After the move to Los Angeles, Loretta Jones lavished Christmas gifts, Easter outfits, and baby cribs on anyone in need who came to her attention, her daughter said. Jones received her Bachelor of Arts in Psychology in 1963 and a Master's in Criminal Justice in 1972, both from Northeastern University in Boston. She was also awarded 2 honorary doctorates, including one from Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science. Jones had been a community faculty member at the historically Black University in Willowbrook since 2010. Dr. Jones was a mother, mentor, and miracle for many, it said. Her commitment to social justice, community activation, and true equity made her a well-respected gatekeeper in South Los Angeles and beyond. Her impact can be felt across the country and the world. Besides her daughter, Falika Jones. She is survived by 3 grandchildren. Now, I skipped around on the article. I'll put it in the link so you can read it. I'll put it in the description area. But I just wanted to pay homage to Miss Jones, because she just lived her life, and that's Miss Loretta Jones. She lived her life trying to make it better for other people. Being a foster child herself, she wanted to give back, so she became a foster parent. Now, I know of people that were foster parents, and I was a foster parent for a while. That's a lot of work. And you have that young child to nurture, and to you want to make a difference in a young person's life. You want to make sure that they become a productive person in society, and you want to end any of the generational curses that may be in their lives. I mean, from the background that many of them come from, you want to erase that from their life, so they won't continue that. They won't continue that. Whatever dysfunction that's in that family, you want to give to that child, so that would be the end of it, and they would become better than what their parents were. Or sometimes the parents, both of them could be deceased, and there's no family members. There's a lot of reason why children are in foster care, but I love that Miss Loretta Jones took from her childhood and tried to make someone else's future better. She wanted to make a woman's life better, a woman that was homeless and on heroin, and she wanted to make her life better, and that's what she did. She got the woman treatment and an apartment. So, I mean, I'm not saying anything wrong with just giving someone $1 on the street or what have you. Nothing's wrong with that. But to actually take it a step further from someone she knew was not conning and was going to go buy some alcohol with that, with accumulated dollars or what have you, but to actually keep that woman under her wing and help her get treatment and some place to live. So she didn't give her a fish. She taught her how to fish, taught her how to use her resources to better her life, and not just to solve make a temporary solution for a long-term problem. Now, a lot of us can look back, and maybe not that far back in the past, but we can look back at that person or persons that had an impact on the community or impact on our lives. Someone who wanted to give young people an avenue that they can explore and escape from maybe the realities of whatever dysfunctional home they came from, without any tricky business, without grooming them for something, messy. I do remember certain people in the neighborhood that would try to put activities together for the youth. I do remember a next door neighbor, which I lost touch with, and I don't know whether she's living or not. She would probably be in her 90s by now, her 80s or 90s by now, but she was a next door neighbor, and she had 3 girls, and I wish I knew where they were. Hoppy was, I don't know her real name because we just called her Hoppy. And then Shirley and Gloria. I think Hoppy's name was Linda. But anyway, they were very close to us, and I claimed their mom as my godmother. She always took time with me and always took an interest in me. See, I come from a large family, and my mother would work
off and on, whenever she wanted to. Um, when she wasn't required to work, so it was whenever she wanted. So, the next door neighbor, last name was Hall, would take me under her thumb. I would go over her house. She always had some goodies for me, and she just showed an interest in me while my parents were not there. They were working, and she just showed me so much kindness and wanted me and encouraged me to do better, to get an education, to be uh, 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 just have, and she gave me an interest of a better life, to not live a mediocre life, along with my parents who wanted the best for me, but she was an extended part, in my opinion, of the family. And if Hoppy and Shirley and Gloria hear this, hopefully they will get in touch with me, because I miss those guys. Now, this was back east, this was in Chicago. So this platform, has the potential of going around the world. So I wish they would contact me, or if someone knows of them just by the names, of the siblings, to tell them, get in touch with me. But God, those were just some of the formative years, and those were the years that made a difference in my life. So we all have someone that, if they did not work in the community as a whole, they tried to mentor one person, and there's nothing wrong with mentoring one person at a time. See, when I was a foster parent, I didn't want a bunch of kids. My children, were up there, and so I didn't have any babies. So I thought, getting teenagers, because it's harder to get a teenager. Everybody wants the little kids. Everybody wants the babies. So it's harder to get a teenagers. So I wanted to just make a difference, in one person at a time's life. But anyway, getting back to Loretta Jones, like I said, I just want to pay homage to a lady that did so much. So I will leave the link in the comment section. Read it all so you can just see how much this lady did, all her accomplishments. And I'll leave you with that. And thank you for joining me. If you have not subscribed, do so now and click the notification bell. And I wish all of you a good night.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. Today, I am bringing you JoJo Simmons, son of Rev Run, brother of Angela Simmons. And Angela's family is stepping up to the plate in support of her son, Sutton Jr., following the murder of his father and her ex-fiancé, Sutton Tennyson. I'm sorry. As previously reported, Tennyson was fatally shot in his home driveway earlier this month. Since the incident occurred, his alleged killer has been arrested, and Simmons have been putting on a brave front for her child with the help of her supportive family. Recently, her brother JoJo Simmons posted a photo of him walking hand in hand with his nephew. In the caption, he explained that he had just taken the little one to get his hair cut, and he intended on making it a bi-weekly routine. Now, Angela reposted the photo with the caption, "It's going to take a village. Thank you, Uncle JoJo Simmons, for coming today to get SJ's haircut. And to Stay Kate, thank you for everything." Now, following Sutton's Sr.'s death, JoJo took to Instagram to make a vow to always be there for his son. It's heartwarming to see that he is maintaining his promise. Now, I am so glad that JoJo stepped up to be a role model, a male figure, a positive male figure for his nephew. That's what's needed in a young boy's life, especially when he no longer has his father in his life. And unfortunately, it's circumstances that were unforeseen, and so the family has to step it up, and it looks like JoJo is doing that. Now, I'm sure her son will also, uh, let me backtrack. I'm sure that her father, Rev Run, will also contribute to with JoJo. I know that JoJo has a daughter, and from what I hear, he's a good dad. So much like his dad, even he is so much like his dad. JoJo is, even his mannerisms, when he's acting silly, he sounds just like Rev Run. I've watched Rev Runs and watch them all grow from little kids to teenagers to young adults and being self-sufficient. I watched their cooking show. I watched Justine, Justin's stepmom. I watched her, how she interacts with her stepkids. For a long while, I thought that was her kids until, I watched the show more and kind of read on, the Rev Run's history, with the rap and everything. So that family just kind of forgets about step parent and step this and step uncle and step brother, and Justine has an adopted daughter, and she has two sons with Rev Run, and it's like they don't see each other as stepped or adopted anything. They that's just their brother and their sister. And I love the way they interact. So it does not surprise me that JoJo is going to step in and make sure that little boy has a good life and a good role model and grows up with a man in his life, a grown man, a self-sufficient man, a working man in his life. The same with Rev Run. I know as being a grandfather, he's going to take that little boy under his wing, and Angela's not going to want for anything, not a thing as far as financial help. Well, she's self-sufficient. She has businesses. Hear me, guys? She has businesses and has ever since her and what's her sister's name? I can't remember now, but they have ever since they were teenagers. Like I said, in watching the show, I saw how JoJo related to his sisters. When on the show, I remember his sisters had decided to move to Los Angeles, and they were doing that to better their career and have their businesses grow. They wanted to be close to their contacts. And I know there was other reasons for them to move, but to my understanding, that was the best reasons for them to move. And I remember on the show, which, it's a reality show. So, reality shows sometimes, up the ante as far as dramatics are concerned. But this part, I believed when his sisters were moving to Los Angeles, he was missing them. He knew that, is things that he could not talk to his mom and dad about, is things that he couldn't talk to his biological mom and stepdad with. And so he would often talk to Angela and forgive me, her
her name just escapes me for right now, but his two sisters. And to the point that he shed a few tears, and he just was going to miss his sisters. And they had said, well, you know what, Jojo, you can come out anytime and you can spend weeks at a time with us and come visit us, and we'll be back and forth. So what I'm saying is he has a close family ties, and he has a closeness with his sisters. All of them. He has a closeness with his sisters, and especially his the two oldest sisters, because they grew up together and they looked out for him. And according to the information I get, they looked out for him and made sure he was all right. Where's Jojo? What's Jojo doing? So of course, when Angela needs him, he's going to be there for her and that little boy. So, that just makes me feel good, because a lot of families are not close like that. A lot of families is, that's her child, let her deal with it. I would hope not, but all families aren't like that. And so I do believe that in us watching Jojo and the relationship he has with his sisters and his nephew that needs a father figure now, I'm not even worried about that little boy in that department. Because whatever he's lacking, I'm sure his granddad and his uncles, all of them, not just Jojo, but his other uncles, are going to make sure that he's okay. And I'm just glad that, they are the family that they are, as far as being family orientated and just looking out for each other. Because like I said, not all families do that. Not all families look out for each other. And that's a sad situation, but that's reality. And then some families are just, just so close. And sometimes, they get on each other's nerve because they figure, it's nothing sacred, and, I can't have any business to myself. But you know what? That's just the way it is when families are close. Your business is not your business. Your business is all of their business. And so they're just looking out for each other. So kudos to Jojo, kudos to Rev Run as far as that little boy is concerned. And Angela, I know that you are really grateful for your siblings and your parents for being a support system for you and your son in this time. So that's my story for today, and I'm going to end this podcast right now. And thank you all for joining in. Those of you who have not subscribed, please do that now and click the notification bell for the YouTubers. And I will see you another time. Have a good evening. Good night.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to my channel today. I'm doing a revamp of living the single life. The reason why I'm doing a redo is after I did my videos for Secrets and Lies Part 1 and 2, I felt so good and so happy about doing it and finally getting my truth out. And so when I videoed living the single life, and when I put it on, it's like I had I don't want to put out arrogance or cockiness, and I got that feel. I'm more confident now, and I'm glad I did that. So I wanted to redo it and tell you a little, why I love being single. I've been married before and divorced, and whatever all goes with that. and then comparing what the married life and what I'm experiencing now being single. I like being single better. I like it a whole lot more. Um, I want to be selfish with me now, not having to consider a spouse's um, or a boyfriend's feelings. And I know when you're married or you're with your significant other, you have to compromise. And if you don't want to compromise, then you shouldn't be married or with someone. And my very reason for being single, I don't want to compromise. I I'm gonna be frankly real honest with you. I don't want to share my money that comes in. I don't want to share my house that I worked hard for. You will not reap the benefits of my um, hard work, the fruits of my labor. And again, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I am selfish right now. And I in the life that I've had before, let me tell you, I had some very good times, but I also had some experienced some bad things in my life, which I think we all have. So right now, I'm just basking in my selfishness. So allow me that. I I went out just recently, and I put it. I made a video dining at Kelsey's, and it was nice to go out. I go out by myself. I don't need anyone to go with me. I have sometimes friends
because she meddles. So to you, Beth, you are a silly, silly woman. And I had to change some words around because I don't really want to call names, but you're silly. You use a word that you know is a racial slur used towards Black people. You try to act like you didn't mean it in a racial way. Do you think that we're stupid? You knew exactly what you were saying. You got the quote from a Yoko Ono and John Lennon song. It was messed up then and it's messed up now. You were waiting for the chance to use it, and that has been in your heart all these years. So finally, you got to say what was in your wicked heart, and then you disguise it with a statement to show the plight of women like you care. You apologize and say you are an ally. You are not my ally or the ally for any other Black woman. Bette Midler, you got millions, so I suggest you go buy you some common sense or hocus pocus yourself back to your protected, privileged world. You say women are the most disrespected creatures on earth. Well, you just added yourself to the list of people doing the disrespecting. You are an ally? When did you take up any cause for Black people? You have your own agenda. When did you struggle? When were you silenced? When were you beaten? When were you denied education? When you treated that nonsense, you used the N word to say Black women don't matter. Yes, you had an agenda, and your agenda is to divide the family, divide the genders, to further divide the Black community. When I first read this tweet, it took me a while to respond because I had to put myself into timeout and sit back and digest this mess. No, you're not my ally. You could care less. You use that word intentionally to target Black women. You are the one saying that we are worthless. I have nothing else to say to you, silly woman. I'm done. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining me today. This story that I'm going to do for you is out of Florida. And this man gets a template from Pinterest of money. So he goes to the stationery store, gets some stationery paper, and he prints out his own money. Part of the money that he printed out, he paid his landlord for his rent. How smart is that? And so that's how he got caught, because the landlord called the police. But that's like an upgrade from Monopoly money. It's like, how do you think you're going to pass off stationery paper? I mean, anybody would be able to tell that. It's expert counterfeits out there that it's a special kind of paper that you use. Stationery paper, it would be, the landlord probably knew nothing about fake money. But in order for him to know that what he got was fake money, shows you the quality of the dollar bills. I don't know what denomination he had, but anyway, a lot of times counterfeit, from my knowledge, use 20s the most, and then hundreds, I guess. So anyway, he got caught, and so now it's charges against him for counterfeiting. And I don't know how many years that involved, but it's not a slap in the hand, so I don't know. But
I remember when I first started working, I had one job, and then that lasted for a while. But at one of not too long from my first job, I started working at a bank, and I was a teller. And one of the first things that they teach you is how to feel the money and be able to detect counterfeit. So, that's just banking 101, I think, to, show you what counterfeit, not only the way it feels, that the way it looks, but there's some really, really good counterfeiters out there, and their money is a little bit harder to detect. But however, we got the course on that. I forget how many days we were had in training, but it was just cash handling, counterfeit, just everything regarding being a teller, what to do if there's a robbery and what have you. But I just wanted to bring you a story because that's just stupid to get stationery paper. Didn't even try to, I don't even know, I didn't even go online. Maybe I'll do that. And, I'm not going to counterfeit it. Maybe I'll just go on and see if you can get, that type of paper even online. I don't even think you could just go online to get the type of paper that would be close to fill of money. I have no idea how where counterfeits get their money. So don't think I'm going to be doing that. No, 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 no. I'm not. I'm not ready to do the time, so I don't do the crime. But anyway, I thought I'd bring you that little stupid story. I won't. I would like to have the stupid story of the week, but I just, come across stories like this every now and then. So I don't know if I could do that as a constant thing. But anyway, um, I didn't even know Pinterest would have the, type things. You can get a template. And they probably have it on, people have different things, wallpaper, and, if I'm not mistaken, Nene Leakes on the Housewives of Atlanta, she had a dress made out of money as a joke. And, people, have things, jokes that they like to pull on people, or just a novelty thing to have something made out of what looks like money. But he just took it to the max. And anyway, I'm gonna check every now and then to see how much time they're gonna give him. But anyway, thank you for joining me today, and wish me a happy birthday, because Sunday is my birthday, the 7th. I'm not telling you how old I am. We just won't go there, will we? But anyway, wish me a happy birthday, and I wish you a wonderful, wonderful weekend, a wonderful life. Thank you for joining me. Goodbye.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. This is Marilyn Gale. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone, if you have not subscribed, please do so now and hit the notification bell. Now let's talk about this story. A mother of 6 makes 100 lunches every day for the children in her poverty-stricken Missouri neighborhood, and her specialty is peanut butter and jelly sandwiches mixed with love. A mother with 6 children of her own has spent the past 5 years preparing 100 lunches every day for the youngsters in her poverty-stricken Missouri neighborhood. Champel Anderson, 48 years old, sets up a table outside her St. Louis home every day at 2:30 p.m. so the children have something to eat as soon as they get off their school bus. She fills up 100 brown paper bags with peanut butter jelly sandwiches, cookies, fruit, and juice. Those kids are waiting on me. I have to be out there because they are so excited, she told Good Morning America. They don't know what's going to be in the bags, so they get off the bus and take off running. Anderson said she loves to provide special treats for the children when she can, and if she can afford it,
it will often include ham or turkey sandwiches. Her specialty, though, is peanut butter and jelly. I don't just put on the peanut butter and then the jelly, she said. I mix it up with love, and they love those sandwiches. It is sometimes the only meal the children would eat that day. Anderson works in healthcare and has 6 children of her own, and has been making food for the children in her neighborhood for 5 years. She said she started the program, which she calls Champ's Teardrops, after she spotted children near a gas station begging for money and noticed that the youngsters coming to her home were always hungry. A group of people around each other. She fills up 100 brown paper bags with peanut butter, jelly, cookies, fruit, and juice. I'm not sure why the article repeated that, but it did. But it also says what the article said before, because the children would be hungry. They would go hungry because that may be the only meal they get that day. With a stack of flyers on her table, Anderson says she loves to provide special treats for the children when she can, and they will often run from the school bus to see what she has for them each day. Anderson said she has an open door policy at her home, which means the children can stop by before or after school if they are hungry. Sometimes kids get a bag and come back to my house around 7 p.m. because that may be the only meal they have during the day, she said. They ask for another bag, and I say, of course. Anderson said her dreams is to travel to other neighborhoods and provide food for children there as well. A GoFundMe page has been set up to help Anderson buy food to give to the children. It has already raised more than $39,000 since it was set up last month. Now, guys, I love stories like that. That's something that makes you feel good. There's always someone in every neighborhood, it seems like, that has a big heart that looks out for everyone. And I am so glad that Miss Anderson is looking out for those children. She didn't mention the circumstances. She just said it was a poverty-stricken community. And that could mean a lot of things, not only the lack of employment, the lack of money. It can include a lot of things, the reason why these children are not being fed. It's just hard for me to understand, and maybe you guys can give me some clarity on this, but I just can't understand why the children, the schools, well, I don't know about Missouri, but I do know about California, where they provide lunches for children, if you're under a certain income range. And then I know there's programs like food stamps. I know there's programs that you can go to food banks, and still, I just don't know what Missouri offers, so I don't want to make that blanket statement of what, that they have that, because they may not. I don't know, but I know California has programs. But whatever the case is, there's women, there's people like Miss Anderson that's going to see that children are being fed. Because when you're hungry, you can't concentrate. If those kids are hungry in class, that information is not going to be retained. They are not going to remember, because their focus will be on their hunger. I mean, I know there's exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, I can't see them concentrating on their studies. So I love stories like this, guys, and I wanted to bring this out because, with every day we hear of so many tragedies and devastation and around the world, and to know that there's people like Miss Anderson out there that's going to make sure that these children get fed. And then, like she said, she's got an open door policy, so they can come. She said they come around 7 and she feeds them again. So if you would like to know what the GoFundMe information is, I didn't want to just put that, say that in the article. I don't want to pressure people or into to giving whether you can or not. But I will leave the link of the article in the description box, and therefore you can, when you read the article, you can decide what you want to do one way or the other. That's up to you. No pressure here. But I do remember one thing I do want to point out. I do remember in my neighborhood years ago when I was younger, and there's actually preteen, and there was a man and woman in our community that used to set up activities for the teenagers to keep them out of trouble. And we'd go skating, and that's really all I did. But I think they had like a baseball team, and just things that would keep the children, the teens, and the preteens from getting into trouble for lack of activities. Something to take their mind off of, like boredom. There was nothing to do in this town. And basically in my little town, there was very little to do. The movie theater was not walking distance. Most kids now can go to McDonald's on their bike or walk to McDonald's and congregate somewhere. We didn't have Starbucks then, so we didn't go to Starbucks, and there was not laptops and cell phones, so that was out. No social media. So okay, I'm getting it sounded like like I was in stagecoach days. But guys, cell phones and computers, they they were not. The computers were in the big companies, I put it that way. So the average person did not have a computer. The average person, didn't have a cell phone. I think, as cell phones became popular, the only people that had cell phones was doctors and pimps. So, I shouldn't have said that, but that's the truth. That's the truth. So anyway, or drug dealers. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with that information of the link in the description, and you can pretty much read that article on your own and get more information. And I think they even have a clip in there, if I'm not mistaken. But guys, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Like I said, subscribe if you haven't already. Click the notification bell, and I will be bringing you another story. I love these human interest stories. I really do. So let me know, if you enjoy these type of stories in the comment area, and I will bring you back another video. Thank you for joining me, guys. Have a good evening. Hello, everyone, and thank you